This
Mr.
conference will
Suresh,
now be
Mr. Suresh,
recorded.
but he can't connect.
Anil, Anil,
Anil, somebody is calling you.
Anil, do we have to make Mr. Nair the presenter?
Hello. Sir, Mr. Nair is rejoining. He is not able to keep his audio and video on. So he has requested for 2 minutes.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hmm.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Kailash?
Yes.
You are there, Mr.
Hello. Hello.
Nair.
Hello. Hello.
Waiting for music.
Hello.
And he's joining. Waiting for Mr. Nair because he has waited again. Hello.
Shall we start the session?
What's the delay, Anil? 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 Anil?
It is not
So
getting
it seems
connected.
Mr. Nair is unable to connect.
Yeah, otherwise try logging in using the browser. Yeah, it's a global.gotomeeting.com/join/join. Sir, Mr. Suresh Nair is facing some difficulty. Kalantri, sir.
No, I know, but
Mr. Su-
but what are you able to resolve?
yeah, he's joining now, so he's asking to give 2 minutes to him. Otherwise, we will start with Mr. Kailash. And then I will start. Let's wait for 2 minutes, sir. And then we start now.
Then,
Or should we start now, sir?
we can start. How does it make a,
And he
it will be later.
joined.
Lot of disturbance.
Okay.
Next time you try out Google Hangout.
Mahesh,
That's
can you
much
mute
better.
everybody? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now,
Hello.
Revitalizing trade and industry battered by COVID.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep. Are we planning to start now?
Yes, we are starting now. If you request everyone to mute their mics so that I can start. So today's webinar will discuss about impact of COVID-19 while revitalizing trade and industry, and the focus is on MSME. This is our second webinar in the series to find out and help MSMEs in traveling through this COVID-19 the issues. Today we have three knowledgeable speakers with us. The first one is Mr. Suresh Nair, who's the DGM SME and Financial Inclusion from State Bank of India. The next one is Mr. Kailash Kumar Barodia. He is the CFO of Receivable Exchange of India. And lastly, we have Mr. Bhagwan Chandani, who is heading the Aurangabad Circle of SEEDB. And they will talk about various issues that MSMEs are facing, and how the RBI and government schemes and the bank, the policies and schemes are there to help navigating MSMEs in this tough time. May I now request Mr. Kalantri, the Vice Chairman of World Trade Center, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kailash Nair, Mr. Kamal Barodia, and Mr. Bhagwan Chandani. Welcome to the seminar on this revitalizing and the impact of COVID on and the focus with MSME. First of all, immediately after lockdown, the MSME is going to look forward to strategizing their activities and how to move about and how to go about. And the main crux of the matter lies in finance. And I'm happy that we have got SIDBI and SBI with us, who are the main people who support MSME in funding and financing and having various instruments for MSME to look into. But the RBI also come out with some policies. Government is talking about a package. But is the RBI policy, whichever is in practice, is implemented in letter and spirit? Further, every policy of RBI has some riders. Those riders are very difficult. And it's very difficult to implement those policies at times. Because I saw that NBFC policy also, later on, bank said, we can't do this. We will have more bad debts. We will have more NPA accounts. So we will see what to do and how to do. Till today, 3.25 basis points have been reduced by RBI in last 1 year. But the banks have only given 1.35 to the bank, to the MSME and other borrowers. So the finance is a very important player in economy. And if we are talking about funding, last MSME standing committee meeting, which was organized by RBI somewhere in November, December, out of requirement of MSME, 40% was by the private banks and only 4% to 5% was by the private sector banks. And the deputy governor said, we'll come out with a study and find out what is the reason and how this has not happened. So I think there are serious issues confronting MSME. MSME needs support. It's a हाँ नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है हेलो हेलो you are not able to hear me.
Your voice is audible, sir.
It's audible. We can hear you. Keep
No, I
your
only
camera.
last 2 minutes.
Yeah, if you keep camera off, then you will be able to hear properly.
The main is now, if the role of public sector banks have been defined, and public sector bank has to play an important role. SIDBI and State Bank, they are very important players for MSME. And I hope they implement the RBI policy letter and spirit. They go little one step ahead of that policy, because the need of the hour is to support MSME, which is a vibrant sector and which can get up to the occasion and rise to the occasion to fulfill the needs of the people, because they manufacture more than 8,000 products. And today, whatever we are importing from China or other countries, whether it is in electronics, whether it is semiconductors, whether it is raw material for chemicals and pharma, all these earlier were part of MSME production. But because of funding and because of various government regulations, people thought of importing is more easy than to manufacture. So I once again plead that all the bankers and we get together to see that how we support the industries, MSME or mid-corporate companies who can come up to the occasion, rise to the occasion and support the Indian economy as a whole. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to hearing our experts who are going to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karanjit sir, for your welcoming address. And now request Mr. Suresh Nair, Deputy General Manager, Small and Medium Enterprises and Financial Inclusion at the State Bank of India, to kindly deliver his address.
So, good evening, sirs. This is Suresh from State Bank of India. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, I thank you for giving an opportunity for State Bank to present our views in this with regard to the SME segment funding, especially in the COVID scenario. In this regard, I'd like to start, because the time is too short. I'll tell first and foremost, in the 20th of March, when this COVID outbreak was just noted in the country, State Bank of India came out with a COVID emergency loan, which we wanted to support all our borrowings under the SME segment. To put in short, we have instructed all our operational units to fund 10% of the fund-based working capital limit as an additional funding to all the borrowers who are in need of it, provided the account is a regular, that is, it is a standard account. We are given such an instruction on 20th of March. Not only instruction, it was being monitored on a daily basis by even at the corporate level, and we have taken the list of all eligible borrowers, and we could ensure that at least 67% of the borrowers sanction letters we could give. But unfortunately, what has happened, at least 50% of them couldn't avail because of the lockdown issue. This was the first initiative which we took on the 20th of March. Followed by this, after the Reserve Bank of India's series of easing of this loan policy of funding, on 1st of April, we came with 6 such products, which will be helping the customers, all our borrowers, to have a better funding option.
Continue, Mr. Nair. We can't hear you.
We are not able to hear you, Mr. Nair. I request everyone to keep their speaker on mute. Hello.
Yes.
We are not able to hear Mr. Nair.
Mr. Nair has been disconnected.
It's coming and going. Connectivity is coming and going.
Sir,
Yes,
if you can just
Mr. Nair, we can hear you.
yeah, you can close your webcam. It will be more easy, more connected.
Okay. My cam is on.
Mr. Nair, you can continue. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then the other thing, initiative what the bank has done is we are allowed every operational unit to reassess the working capital requirement of every borrower. Reassessment means we are allowed them to reduce the margin, even to fund the customers if there is no margin is available. You have to only to cover the market value of the stocks and debtors. No margins are required. Increase the working capital cycle period. These are the instructions which has been given to the units. But the only challenge right now we are finding is that we are able to give some sanctions, but the customers are finding it a bit difficult to come and execute the documents. Number one. Number two, availability of stamp paper. Now in Maharashtra, we are looking at the ESBTR, that is the online stamp. In other centers, we are finding stamp paper is also an issue. This is one challenge which you are facing. Then, in connection with this, we also earlier allowed this 25 up to 25% of the working capital limit. Wherever there is a need, that is also additionally being given in addition to a standby line of credit. The another initiative which we have taken is that for the GSTN returns,
No audio, no audio.
We can't hear.
Mr. Nair, please unmute yourself. Mr. Nair. Mr. Nair, please unmute yourself. Mr. Suresh Nair. Mr. Suresh Nair, you have muted your mic. Please unmute. Okay. Mr. Suresh Nair, I think Suresh Nair is connected. So when he comes back and connect to us. May I now request Mr. Kailash.
Hi,
Mr.
good
Kailash
afternoon.
Barodia. Good afternoon. I think we'll take Mr. Suresh Nair a little later. So in the meantime, I request you to start your presentation. Mr. Kailash is the CFO of
Relics.
Receivable Exchange of India. Yeah, a joint initiative between NSE and SIDBI, set up to operate the trades exchange. Prior to this, he was heading the business development and accounts teams of SBI Global Factors, a subsidiary of SBI. He has more than 16 years of experience in factoring services, almost 19 years in banking industry. Let's Barodia. He's going to make a presentation on trades and how it is going to be useful for the MSMEs. Mr. Kailash.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kailash. Good afternoon to MVRCD team, Mr. Nair and Mr. Bhagwan and all the participants. To just give an introduction of what is trades. Trades is nothing but a trades receivable discounting system. Okay. In simple word, I'll say it was a e-bill discounting system or e-factoring or e-invoice discounting. Okay. This concept actually initiated by RBI. They have come up with a guideline in 2014, where they had invited many applications and issued a guideline how the trades will work. This kind of platform are more common in US, UK, Mexico kind of thing. And then subsequently NSE and SIDBI has applied for the license, and December 2015 they got in principle approval from RBI to work on the development of this platform. Accordingly, NSE and SIDBI team has started developing on the platform, and SBI, ICICI and Yes Bank also joined this initiative. In December 2016, RBI has finally given approval to RXIL to perform the first transaction, and accordingly, RXIL has done the first transaction in January 2017. Okay, so these are our stakeholders. So, what is the objective of RXIL, or what is the objective of trades? As everyone is said, and this meeting is also for to help the MSME with respect to how can they organize or arrange for the funding, okay, with respect to that liquidity issue. So let's example, a particular small MSME who supplies to, I take example of say Bajaj, okay, where there is a terms of say 40 or 45 days, and that particular MSME needs the fund on urgent basis, either in 1 or 2 days once he supplies to Bajaj, so that he can procure more material or he can liquidate his higher cost of borrowing. The whole intention of RBI to develop a digital platform to help the MSME who supplies to PSUs, a government department or a big corporate where there is a credit terms. Okay, the objective is only to help the MSME. So whatever financing happen, it is only the financing for the receivable of the MSME. Second object, to more transparent and digital platform. So in a physical way, you have to go to bank, you have to go your bill discount, you have to submit the bill of exchange to bank, then bank will take their own time based on their policies and everything. and then they will fund you. In this platform, once you supply the material and once the buyer accept that particular material, you can upload that particular invoices and get the funding against that. Whatever transaction happen to this platform is totally handled through NPCI. So that means there is no RTGS, NEFT or transfer manually happen on this platform. Everything has been handled by NPCI automated debit and credit mandate. So RXIL is basically a marketplace, an aggregator or a platform or exchange, whatever you can call. And we have three participants on the platform. One is a seller, which is MSME, because this platform is meant for the MSME seller or supplier. Okay, so as per the MSME Act, the entity, the seller who falls in the category of MSME, they can qualify and can register as a seller on this platform. The buyer, all the PSUs, government department and large corporate falls under the category of the buyer. The government also mandated that all the corporates whose turnover is more than 500 crore has to mandatorily get registered on this trades platform. Same with all the PSUs and government department has to get mandatory registered on this platform so that their MSME suppliers can avail the benefit to this platform. Financial category, we have bank and NBFC factor who can be a financer on this platform. So when what is the registration process basically? So what kind of formats to be completed, and whatever document or whatever formats to be completed, it will be only with exchange. So none of the buyer or seller will go and register with or execute any agreement with the financer. Whatever they do, they only do with RXIL, with the trades. Okay, and the formalities are also very simple. Like you are opening a current account. Okay, so what you will give? You will give your application form, your board resolution for the authorized signatory, your KYC document of the entity, the KYC document of the authorized signatory, KYC document of the administrator, and then subsequently your GST certificate and MSME certificate with respect to to qualify as a MSME. Apart from all these documents, we only take a master agreement from buyer as well as seller, to get registered on the platform. So the registration formalities are also very simple on this platform. So today, let's example, we are in lockdown phase from last almost say 4 weeks. We are at home and working from home. So we also have the facility where the seller or the buyer can online register themselves with the RXIL. So we have that facility where the seller can, through their GSTN number, they can log in to create the ID on our platform called rxil.in and create their own login ID and complete all the registration formalities. Okay, even we are coming up with the e-signing and e-stamping of the master agreement, so that even the physical stamp paper is not required with respect to agreement to be signed on this platform. And whatever documents you are giving it to exchange, it is only with exchange, but you are not going to bilaterally any agreement or any document to submit to a financer. So I'm not going into more detail on a technical side of it, rather than to give a more blueprint kind of thing. So let's take example, ABC is a MSME supplier who register in the seller category, and the buyer is a Bajaj who register in the buyer category. This platform is basically a many-to-many relationship. So let's say about ABC, if there are another 15 buyers on the platform, ABC only have to register once on the platform. So, and the same way, the buyer also once registered, they can have 100 or 1000 vendor on this platform. So this is basically a many-to-many relationship. Your registration is only once. Okay. What you have to do once you register as a buyer and seller, once they register, they have to actually come on the platform and do the handshake. Handshake in the sense, in simple words, they have to define some relationship on the platform, that who's going to bear the cost, who will upload the invoices, who will accept the bid. Okay. So as I told you that this is e-bill discounting platform or e-factoring platform, everything is transparent and dynamic bidding process. So we take that same example of ABC and a Bajaj. Okay, so ABC who supplies the material to Bajaj. Okay, let's example the terms are of 45 days. Okay, supplied the material to Bajaj and Bajaj has received that particular material, okay, and said, okay, I received your material and it is as per the purchase order. I'll make the payment to you on 45th day from now. My due date is, let's example, say 30th of May. Okay. Now this ABC needs a fund. So what he will do, once he is registered on the platform and also Bajaj is registered on the platform, he can upload that particular invoices on the platform by keying some few details. Okay, like what is the purchase order number, invoices, goods acceptance date, and automatically the due date will come based on the goods acceptance. Okay, so once he upload the invoices, now Bajaj basically, if he has not received the material, obviously he will not accept it. If the material is, say he has supplied the material of 5 lakh and out of the 10,000 is of deteriorate quality, he only want to accept for 4 lakh 90, then he can very well return and tell the ABC to modify the entry, or he can accept the full. So in this particular example, let's example uh, the ABC has supplied the material of 5 lakh which is accepted by Bajaj. On the platform also he accept that 5 lakh invoice. Okay. Now once Bajaj accept that particular invoices, we have 35 financer on the platform. Obviously, the way we are going, I think by within one next quarter, I think we will be adding another 5 to 10 finance on the platform. Those financiers who are interested on Bajaj, so actually they are not looking to the seller, rather than looking to the Bajaj. They are taking the exposure on Bajaj. This is basically without recourse to seller. So seller, they will not see the seller name, rather than they will see the Bajaj. Based on Bajaj acceptance, their interest amount for taking the business, interest amount or discount rate or bidding rate, whatever you can call, they will put that bidding rate. Okay. Now that bidding rate will change dynamically. So let's example, ICICI put 9.5%, Yes Bank put 9.25%, SBI put 9%. Again, ICICI go and revise and put 8.75 rate. Okay. Now let's example 8.75 is a very good rate. Okay. And ABC who actually give it to their bankers 10%, 11%, 12% after putting all the collateral. Okay. He is ready to accept. It's a good best rate. Okay. So he's accepting. I'm just taking an example. So he's accepting 8.7. The moment he's accept 8.75 based on the timing. So our windows are open 9 to 9, so morning 9 to evening 9. We have two sessions, 9 to 4 and 4 to 9. So let's example someone is accepting the bid within 9 to 4 first session, it will get settled T+1. That means after 1 day we will debit the finance account automatically. We will debit the finance account and give it to the vendor. If after 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock, it will be get settled on T+2 date. That means on second working day we will debit the buyer financer account and give it to the seller. Once sellers receive the amount, is out basically. It's not recourse to the seller. So seller got his amount. Then if any problem happens between the buyer and the financer, they will not going to come back to the seller. That's why again repeatedly I'm calling that is without recourse to the seller. Okay. So seller received the amount on T+1 or T+2 day. Intimation will go to the buyer, seller, and the financer that okay, this amount got funded and this is the due date. On due date, the financing date we call as a leg 1. On due date, buyer account and credit to the financer account. If the buyer have some problem, some liquidity issue, it will be between the buyer and the financer. Seller is not going to ask with respect to whatever financing they had got on the platform. Okay. This is the architecture in the sense. So I'm not going to do more technical of it. So what is the benefit? Okay. So obviously in India, everyone say कि मुझे क्या मिलेगा? Okay. So benefit for the MSME it's huge. Okay. Digital platform, no paper. In this current scenario, when we are not able to go out of our home. Okay. So there is no paper movement kind of thing. Price is one of the biggest advantage of this platform is price discovery and multiple financer model. Even the MSME register once on the trades platform without executing any document with any of the finance on this platform, that 35 financiers are looking towards the buyer and financing against the invoices raised by the MSME on the financer. on the buyer, sorry. Lower cost of financing without recourse. It is not recourse to seller. It is the financer is not going to see the strength of the seller and finances. The financer will only see the buyer name. Based on the strength of the buyer, they are going to make the finance. Obviously, this will improve the liquidity. There is no limit-wise charges applied to the seller. So let's example, today he is getting finance of 5 crore invoices on a platform. He is not getting charged based on his limit available. Limit can be anything, 2 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, based on the appetite of the financer. Okay, low turnaround time, totally digital platform. We have seen the cases where the deal get closed within 10 minutes at a very competitive price. Alternate financing. So today you might have term loan or working capital limits or demand loan kind of thing. This is alternate channel of financing which is without recourse to you. Clear? So these are few benefits to buyer. So I am not going more into detail. Buyer, it ensures that they comply with the MSME Act. You must all aware that MSME, if they are supplying the goods to particular buyer, the buyer has to make within 45 days from the goods acceptance date as per the MSME Act. So through this platform, buyer ensures that whatever payment they make with the payment within 45 days. This platform supports factoring as well as reverse factoring. That means the seller can avail the facility. So 45 days, if sellers want the financing within that period, they can very well aware. Plus a buyer needs a financing for their own self. So your terms are 45 days, he needs another 30 days. That is also possible on the system. As per the guidelines of RBI, factoring as well as reverse factoring is possible on this platform. The financiers are also quoting very fine rate on this platform because whatever financing happen to this platform, it qualify for the priority sector lending benefit. So that's why financiers are really quoting a very good and concessional rate on this platform. To just share with you, we have seen the rate lowest at 6.10 and highest up to 10.5 to 11%. You imagine the kind of rate the MSME is getting without putting any collateral, without executing any agreement with any of the financer. This is the timing, so I'd already gone through this. To just give that, in one of the MSME outreach program, we had also presented to our Honorable Prime Minister how the trades look like. So you can see Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and the MSME Minister that time, Mr. Girdhari. And this is the one of the notification where government has announced that all the corporates whose turnover is more than 500 crore has to mandatorily get registered on the trades platform. Just share with you few names. We are proud to announce that we are very much active in PSU sector where we are the preferred partner. IOCL, BPCL, HAL, BHEL, MRPL, HPCL, CPCL. These are all our big PSUs. And on a corporate side, we have Bajaj, we have Welspun, many other big names associated with us. Okay. But we are getting very good help, or I'll say awareness is created by many associates like RBI in their town hall or workshop meeting, SOCHAMs. Then DFS is continuously giving us exposure to present the trades at various places. We are also integrated with James platform, government e-marketplace, where all the PSUs and government department procure their material or whatever their services from that particular portal. We are fully governed by RBI, so all are and incorporated into the payment and settlement system of RBI. That's why I said whatever transaction happens to the platform, there is no manual RTGS, NEFT or transfer. All things are handled by NPCI. So our debit and credit is fully automated. We debit the financer account on the financing date and directly give it to vendor account automatically into that designated account, most preferably working capital account. Okay, so that will be no double financing issue. whatever in financing we are doing, if they are having a banking limit, we only make the proceeds in the working capital account. Same way, we have a buyer's account where we debit their account on a due date and give it to the financer. All our rules and everything has been processes and everything by looked after by RBI. So we keep reporting RBI monthly, DFS weekly. There are RBI audit yearly on for our platform. That's all from my side. If you have any question, I'll like to take after Mr. Bhagwan finished his presentation with respect to SIDBI. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kailash, for a wonderful presentation. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kailash, for a wonderful presentation and helping the participants.
If someone wants to go into more details, they can go to rxil.in, or if they want to write or they have some query, they can write to info@rxil.in, or they can write to kk.varodia@rxil.in. We'll make sure that our colleagues, my team, will reach to you and complete what or address all your queries. If you want to try to do online registration, we are very much there. Our teams are fully equipped. You can within 2 or 3 hours you can finish your registration. Thank you all. Thank you for the listening. On behalf of RXIL, we also thank the team of MVIRDC for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kailash, and we will take the questions after the third speaker. May I now request Mr. Suresh Nair to continue from where he stopped. Mr. Nair. Mr. Nair, hello, Mr. Nair.
Let the last speaker finish, then you can call again, Mr. Nair.
Okay, sir. So we'll now invite Mr. Bhagwan Chandani, who is the AGM of SIDBI and the head of Aurangabad Circle Office of SIDBI. He has more than 23 years of experience in MSME financing and has worked at SIDBI's Bhopal, Lucknow, Mumbai, Indore, New Delhi and Kolhapur branch offices. Mr. Bhagwan Chandani, request all to mute themselves and let Mr. Bhagwan Chandani speak on various SIDBI initiatives in supporting MSMEs at a time of COVID-19.
Thank you, Veldesar. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I am place on record thanks to World Trade Center for considering SIDBI to interact during this tough time with the MSME entrepreneurs. As Kailash sir has already presented in his scheme, that is another offshoot of SIDBI, RXIL, that is meant to obviate the difficulties of late payments by corporates to MSMEs. And that bill discounting scheme has been our forte. SIDBI has been doing very, you can say, yeoman service for in this. And as Kailash sir has told the rates 6.1 to 10.5, and that too at the choice of MSMEs. So I request all of you to please avail this facility, which is all fully digital, 100% digital. Today, what I'm going to discuss, because as you know, SIDBI has been a pioneer in servicing, financing, and developmental of MSMEs. So, in this tough time, wherein the country, or rather the whole world is fighting with the coronavirus, we have launched some special products. The first product is SAFE, that is SIDBI Assistance to facilitate emergency response against coronavirus. This is a simple product. The flyer of that is being shown by Veldesar here. Here we have launched this product to support the healthcare industry, basically units which are into manufacturing of various products to fight coronavirus. The major category of the units is units engaged in manufacturing of sanitizers, masks, body suits, overalls, gloves, shoes, shoe covers, ventilators, testing labs, and the list is indicated. So the and evolving any services which are supporting to this cause of healthcare to fight the coronavirus can be considered based on the merits. Simple. The quantum of loan is 50 lakh. Here we are giving this loan for purchasing new plant and machinery also, and for working capital purposes. The major attraction is the rate, which we have kept it at 5%, because we know this is a tough time where people are struggling with their cash flows. So and additional liability at this moment will be tough for the MSME.
Connected.
So, am I audible? So we have kept the rate at 5%. Yeah, and the funding is 100%. So there is no commercial contribution in this scheme. And for existing SIDBI customers, even the CGTMSE coverage charges are being borne by SIDBI. So here CGTMSE charge is also not being taken from MSMEs. That SIDBI will be bearing that. For new to SIDBI customers, for asset coverage purposes, we are taking some additional collateral from the new customers. The financial norms are simple. DER, one is allowed.
Hello.
DSCR is 1.25.
Yeah.
And repayment for term loans, it is 5 years. And for CC, that is WCTA, it will be 12 to 18 months. It's a simple product wherein we are delivering to the loans to the MSME units within 2 days, 2 working days. So this is the first product which I have dealt with you, spoken. Second is another variant of SAFE, that is SAFE Plus. Here are this product is launched to take care of the units which are doing a lot of government supplies, because in the healthcare sector, government basically majorly medical this one our government hospitals give a lot of contracts to these suppliers. So here the units which are meeting which are registered with the government healthcare agencies like government hospitals and have good orders with them, and they are approved vendors of the government hospitals, they can avail this facility. The maximum loan in this SAFE Plus is 100 lakh, wherein it can be again given in the form of working capital term loan. It's a revolving WCTL. So once you take the loan, you complete the order of the government agency and you get payment. So you pay back to SIDBI, and SIDBI again disburses to you. So this is a revolving WCTL product to help the MSMEs to meet their government order positions. This is also a very 48 hours में भी इसमें disbursement कर रहे हैं हम लोग. Provided CIBIL and CMR should all be okay. Funding is again 100% in this product also. Rate is 5%. And for security purpose, one additional, because the government agency is involved in this product. So we have kept provision of escrow account, a charge on the escrow accounts, because the receivables will be coming through government. Again here CGTMSE charges again borne by SIDBI, so MSMEs should not worry about the CGTMSE charges for this product. And documentation is also very simplified. Here we have capped the WCTL in SAFE Plus. For a turnover unit doing turnover up to 5 crore, we have kept the limit at 50 lakh. Up to 7.5 crore, we are giving loan up to 75 lakh. And above 7.5 crore units, we are giving 1 crore. So this is all about SAFE Plus. Another variant, because in this situation wherein we require a lot of investments in the healthcare sector, a lot of new hospitals, nursing homes, testing labs are required in the country to fight this menace. So we have already a product called Smile, wherein we were funding the units MSMEs at around 8.58% interest rate. So for to meet the enhanced demand of healthcare sector, we have designed Smile का एक नया Smile करके लाए for healthcare sector, wherein we are funding the units at 6%. Loan is 6%, particularly for new capital investments in new hospitals, nursing homes, and testing labs. Apart from this, for our existing clients, because their cash flows are under stress at the moment because payments are not coming up from the large companies and they are finding it very difficult to repay our loans, we have given them 3 months moratorium as per the directives of RBI. And another feature we have, what we have launched here, if our existing clients are interested to meet their day-to-day expenditures like payment of salaries, electricity bills, or some taxes and any other liability, we have started giving 15% additional ad hoc limits to them for our existing clients. This can be given as a additional CC or additional term loan. So this way we have tried to help MSMEs to fight this tough time. मुझे लगता है कि हम लोगों ने MSME सेक्टर के लिए ये जो प्रयास किए हैं इसका शायद कुछ लाभ ये लोग ले पाएंगे और मुझे खुशी होगी कि आप जो भी क्वेश्चन आंसर है आप डैशबोर्ड पे भी दे सकते हैं, आप वेल्दे साहब को लिखवा सकते हैं और मैं नंबर भी शेयर कर देता हूँ वेल्दे साहब के साथ. सो एनी क्वेरीज एनीथिंग मैं मेल आईडी एंड मोबाइल में इसमें दे रहा हूँ. सो किसी को भी कुछ उसमें पूछना हो तो यू कैन गेट इन टच. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We will take question answers at the end. All are requested to just write the questions in the chat box so that we can ask him. Now, if Mr. Suresh Nair is there and if we can, he can start his balance presentation.
Yeah.
Mr. Suresh Nair.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Sir.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you in nutshell again. State Bank, for right now, what we are doing is that we are trying to support all our MSME borrowers by giving additional funding wherever they require. If the additional funding is less than 10%, up to 10%, we are giving as a limit at the immediately. Within 2 days, the limits are getting sanctioned. If they want a higher limit, we are reassessing the working capital requirement, and now margins has been made nil. There is no margin requirement, and with regard to cycle period, working capital cycle period, it has been enhanced by 90 days. With regard to vendor funding, that is EDFS, we call Electronic Discount Finance Scheme. There also we have increased the cycle period by 90 days. In the case of loan against property, we have taken this LTV, loan to value, has been improved from 50% 65%. The rate of interest for this COVID loan has been, this additional loan has been pegged at 7.40%. And wherever there is higher stock available, we are increased the cash credit limits, and we are not looking at the margin in that case also. These are to put it on the broader perspective, these are the various initiatives right now State Bank has taken. It is not only the initiative as per the direction from corporate center. Daily we have to monitor and report which are the customers to whom we could extend the facility today. We already prepared the list of all eligible borrowers, and borrowers has been contacted in person and conveyed the decision. But unfortunately, as I told in the beginning, documentation part is getting delayed because of this lockdown. Therefore, some of the availments are getting delayed. And all these loans can be extended for any paying the salary, for paying the statutory dues, whatever is the requirement. For that, we are prepared to extend the loan. This is in nutshell what State Bank is doing right now. This is in addition to the RBI guideline, where they have given the moratorium of 3 months for payment of interest on cash credit, and all the term loans has been pushed away by 3 months. That means the repayment period is extended by 3 months. During the 3 months from 1st of March to 31st of May, no repayment has to be made. This decision has also been conveyed to all the borrowers. And if by ECS, if the auto debit has taken place in the month of March, those people who want to reverse it, that has also been reversed and their accounts has been credited. This is to tell in short about State Bank, what we are doing right now. Any queries on this, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We will now take a few questions. The first question has come for Mr. Kailash. How does the current situation affect the supply chain financing, receivables factoring market over the next few years? Mr. Kailash?
Yeah, please. In between, I lost
Yeah.
your voice.
Yeah. Okay. I will repeat it again. How does the current situation affect the supply chain financing market over the next few years?
So, if I have to answer, currently everyone knows that a whole ecosystem got affected because of this COVID-19. Okay, and the way we are seeing that supply chain finance, what we are seeing that in coming years, supply chain finance may get replaced to trades. That is what we are seeing. The kind of government is pushing that the corporates over 500 crores or all the PSUs and government department to onboard platform. Subsequently, I will not get government also direct the MSMEs to get registered on trades platform to get their finance to this platform. So obviously, the receivable finance for the MSME is also is basically a part of the supply chain finance only. So that the MSME portion, I feel that it will go to trades platform. Yes, definitely once RBI allow non-MSMEs also to be get finance to trades platform. Again, that is also one of the area. And going forward, I think CC limit will come down, and rather than it will be more of receivable and payable finance.
Thank you, sir. Going forward, is one more question. Which sectors in MSMEs are expected to drive demand for the supply chain financing segment, and why?
So see, there is no specific sector. I think it is basically available to all, whether it is textile or whether it is with auto or whether it is what you call pharma. So all sectors, it applies to all the sectors. Okay, wherever there is a the suppliers, there the supplier finance will play a role. So there is no specific industries where only supply chain finance can work.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is about 70% of businesses are expected to shrink in 2020-21. This is coupled with the high NPAs, and that is going to pose a big challenge for trade and industry. Can you give views on how to avoid getting it trapped in the vicious cycle of this worst order? Hello, Mr. Kailash? Mr.
Anil, tell me.
Or Mr. Suresh Nair.
Yeah, I thought
If
it
both
will be
of you
more
can
of
help.
the side.
So talking about the NPA of the mounting NPA, first of all, I'll try to answer that. As our chairman has also answered, see what we are looking at this COVID, even though we are not sure whether it will be over within a month or so. As you rightly said, this financial year we are expecting a lot of stress to come on the system. For that, what we have requested all our customers is to work out a long-range plan and come to us to say how to save this account, not on a short run, but on a long run. What are the procedure, what are the mitigants to be put in place? First and foremost, as is being done in other developed countries, we are expecting that some kind of interest, instead of moratorium, some repayment or some subsidy has to be given to the MSME segment, because the first initial 3-4 months payment of interest itself is a big challenge. unless the market is opened up. Even if once the market is opened up, we expect the cost of production may go up because of the logistic issues. To tide over the situation, we want the customers to be supported. More support should be given by the government, which we expect it is going to come further. And from the bank side, what we are telling is that let us work on a long range plan and work accordingly instead of going for shortcuts. This is one instruction or request which the bank would like to tell to a customer. Number two, in the SME segment also, they should also find out new ways and means of going ahead with the business. For example, if there are certain changes will have to be made in the business model itself in future, at least for the year or so till this COVID pandemic is fully addressed, we cannot go ahead with the existing, for example, e-commerce, online lending platform, online supplies, etc. has to be strengthened. Digital payment system should be strengthened. Digital payment methodology should be strengthened, and even the customers should be made more aware of the electronic media, digital media, how to handle the situation instead of going on physical deliveries. This is another challenge which we are requesting the customer. Therefore, in short, what State Bank feels is that we have to sit with the customer, look at this business model, rework it, and on case-to-case basis, we have to come with a package so that the business can float for the year 2021. Then only, but we expect, even as the international organizations expect, the next year 21-22 onwards, it will be a good period for us. Therefore, we have to take all the precautions to see the business never collapses and the business floats, is kept floating without collapsing during the ensuing year. This is what we are planning. We are trying to be in touch with all the customers to work out a specific plan for each one of them.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Kailash, you would like to say something?
Yeah, Anil, I would like to take leave. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, Valantika.
Yeah, I think Mr. Nair has covered it very well. Obviously, a banker from last 3 decades, he has already covered all the aspects of yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We will move to the next question. How the Apex banking institutions like SIDBI and SBI ensure that the lower interest rate products offered by them to counter the COVID-19 crisis reach to the last mile, the smallest of the borrowers? If Mr. Suresh and
answer,
Mr. Bhagwan both can address.
So this is what I was telling in the beginning. Earlier, what you see that especially the bank like State Bank, instruction has been given, it is being passed on to the people, and we stop there. Whoever wants to take it, take it. Now the instructions are very clear. We have to go on a communication mode 1-to-1. We give it on email. But every customer is being telephoned personally by one of the staff members of this bank and explain to him what is to be done. And we are supposed to, as a bank, even on a daily basis, we will be updating our top management. What are the eligible number of cases? How many people are applied? How many has been sanctioned? And if it is not sanctioned, why it is not sanctioned? Such granular data is being collected on a daily basis across India. Not that we can just give a communication and stop. Therefore, the smallest of the borrower who has got a borrowing of 1,000 rupees is also made aware of what is the situation and what are the things which we can extend to. For that, there is a well-knit system in place right now in State Bank. I hope in every banks they are doing that, and especially all the informations are given on the print media, visual media, etc. In addition to that, one-to-one communication is very strong. That is why we see the traction is very good right now.
Mr. Bhagwan, if you can address now.
Sir, rightly told, I think we ensure end use of the funds, whomsoever we are financing. We have methods to ensure that. And once we disburse, we know that how the funds are going to be utilized. So we always ensure as an institution that it reaches to the last mile customer for whom the schemes are meant. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question in this series is to Mr. Nair. Should the banks tie up with fintech companies to identify genuine buyers and ensure that they are supported during this crisis?
So talking about the fintech companies, last 1.5 years we are collaborated with lot of fintech companies in the country. I don't want to mention the companies now. Lot of companies we are working together. Their expertise in the software or the technology side and our database are clubbed together, gel together, and we are already in that coordination. If you know that NBFC coordination model has been developed by the bank, accepted by RBI, and we are already working on that platform. Uh, what we expected from the State Bank, even though we are in close working with 6 or 7 of them, we are developing some software because some software initiative is a big challenge there. I think within a month or so, we expect it to take the trial run. Once the new software is put in place, I think we will be in tying up with number of NBFCs for this model, and we found that model to be very helpful. Number one, from all the stakeholders, it is good. One is that for the NBFCs, there is no dearth of funds. For us, we get the good borrowers. For the customer, the rate of interest is coming down by 6 to 7%. That is a great achievement as far as the customer is concerned. And once the system, the software is properly placed, there is no human intervention. The transaction cost is brought to the minimal. Therefore, this is one of the excellent models which is going to be in force in the days to come.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Nair. Mr. Chandani, is SIDBI also following similar kind of approach?
Yeah, sir. Naturally, we financial institutions and banks have same similar kind of approach.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
The next one is that should the government and SIDBI increase their fund for guaranteeing collateral-free loans to micro and small organizations under the CGT MSE scheme so that more businesses can benefit from it?
So it is very recently enhanced from 1 crore to 2 crore, and I think it's up to the government to further enhance this cap, because I think this is a sufficient limit at the moment. But if the industry and the industry bodies want this enhancement, the government can consider for that.
Okay, thank you. The next question is again for Mr. Nair. Among our MSMEs, some may be wanting to take advantage of the opportunities arising from the changing scenario of the supply chain. For example, auto components industry is mostly with small scale enterprises and retailers. Especially, has RBI keen or has come out with a special products to help them making our MSMEs go global?
So you're talking about the MSME to go, there are a lot of initiatives. One of the thing is that from the finance part of it, I can tell you that all the industrial majors of this country, whether it is automobile, iron and steel, etc., all these people are already entered into a tie-up for what we know as that vendor funding with all the banks, with State Bank also. It is nearly 300 industrial majors has already tied up. Because of this, any supplies made or any purchase being made from these IMs are being funded immediately by the bank under electronic dealer funding or under electronic vendor funding. Funding part is taken care of. Number two, what to make the MSMEs to go global with regard to products, etc. From the State Bank of India, what we do, we conduct lot of exhibitions, we conduct lot of seminars, we conduct lot of meetings of these people to impart with them what is the latest available in this country, and to handhold them to get connected to the major players, to get connected to a large players of the country, conduct some meeting, give them an exposure, hands-on experience with how to deal with the major threats in this complexities of this world. This kind of seminars, exhibitions are being conducted, and we give them an avenue to exhibit their products. And these products are being exhibited in such a fashion so that a lot of people are gathered there. Therefore, we are handholding them in that regard. We are also supporting some with technology funds wherever required. Therefore, that is a holistic approach which is being adopted by all the stakeholders, by Reserve Bank of India, by SIDBI, banks. All the stakeholders are involved, and I don't think there is any doubt of such kind of initiative right now in India.
Thank you very much, sir. So RBI has reduced the repo rate to ease the liquidity crunch faced by businesses. Do you think it is feasible for banks to transmit it further, given that their balance sheets are already stressed due to rising NPAs?
So this was the issue which India was facing till last year, because whenever the repo rate is reduced, customers expect the rate to be immediately passed on. The banks were reluctant. Banks were telling that we are flooded with the funds. What we are going to do with the repo rate? But last year, Government of India has taken an initiative saying that all lending of all banks should be moved to the external benchmark rates. Today, we are all linked to external benchmark. In State Bank, we are right now linked to a repo rate, or you should link to any external rate by FBIL. That is a Financial Benchmark India Limited. They fix the benchmarks, or it should be repo rate. The moment you are moving to external benchmark rate, in India, now all the retail loans, whether it is SME loan, retail loan, or personal loan, including the medium sector, now the interest rate is linked to the external benchmark rate. The moment it is linked to external benchmark, any change making in the repo rates will be passed on to a customer without any delay. That is the best benefit as far as the customers are concerned. We need not depend upon when the bank is going to pass on. Therefore, definitely it has got a bearing on the bank's profitability. But Government of India is not looking at much on the profitability. They want to see that customers are being supported. Therefore, right now this issue is not there. We are passing on the benefit of repo immediately to the customers from the date it is effective.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chandani, lot of MSMEs are also traders in their nature. So, does the SIDBI loans are also available for trading
Now it is
activities?
immediately passed on.
I'm
Mr. Bhagwan
replying that.
Chandani.
Yeah, I'm replying that on the dashboard also. Yes, sir. We have
Okay,
got
sir.
one scheme. We have got a retail RLS, retail loan scheme recently launched to take care of the trading financing activities. So anybody interested can get in touch with the SIDBI branches. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question is to Mr. Kailash. What kind of organizations can register on the Trades platform, and how does Trades platform help in the better price discovery for MSMEs?
Yeah. So to just answer that, even I had covered also that in previous this thing question also, that any organization can who falls under the category of MSME can register as a seller on the platform, Trades platform, and subsequently obviously the corporate and other big buyers can be registered as a buyer. There is no specific segment or industry, I'll say, with respect to MSME where they have to register. Any MSME can register on this platform. Only thing is that their buyer should also be registered on this platform. Both can the seller can upload the invoices and buyer can accept it, because based on the acceptance of the liability of the buyer, the bankers are funding it, because the buyer. Second part you said ki price discovery. So yes, biggest advantage of this platform is a price discovery. Okay, the kind of price happening on this platform, and I said we have seen the lowest price at 6.10. Imagine 6.10 price on the platform at CP rate also. You are not getting at 6.10. Based on the competition available, based on the different financer, whether it is private banks, public bank, multinational banks or foreign banks, the rates are going like down like anything. I say 10, 15 days back, my lowest benchmark was 6.60. Now see, in this lockdown period also, we are getting the rate of 6.10. What best? And that is for the MSME. MSME is bearing the cost, and he's getting at 6.10. You can see, and the kind of tenure, the tenure is also getting financed from 1 day to 179 days.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, absolutely, sir. So there is one more question. How is RXIL is helping in discounting if banks are not taking limits, particularly in textile sector?
See, I had seen it in the chat box also.
Yes.
Specifically the question was respect to the textile industry. I agree. This in the current scenario being everyone is asking for the extension. Wherever the people buyers are asking for the extension, yes, the financer are then yes giving extension, yes, but they are not then giving the additional bid on the other invoice, new invoices kind of thing, because they already received the extension request and they had already given say 60 days, 90 days, 45 days, whatever the extension request is there. But wherever the buyer has not asked for the extension, then the limits are available with the financer, because at the end of the day, the discretion of the financer, it's a discretion of the financer to bid on a particular invoices or to take an exposure on a particular buyer, because it is without recourse to seller and there is no collateral available. Yeah, so based on that, financer is only going to take a call. But wherever people are not asked for the extension, the things are regular. It's getting finance today also. So if you ask me today also till now, we almost got finance of nearly 3 to 4 crore during this day.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Another interesting question is, can the financiers securitize their receivables that they purchase on your platform?
See, go to RBI trades guideline. RBI has also have the option to get it refinanced of the portfolio of the financer. It is not yet started, but yes, the provision is available. So one financer, I take an example. One say Yes Bank today they might be have a 400 crore exposure on platform and they want to sell it to say 100 crore to another financer. Okay, on this platform, yes, it's very much doable. In the current scenario, it is not there. But as per the trades guideline, yes, RBI has taken that also into the consideration. So once the market get matured, so today I'll say the opportunity side, we all through 3 exchanges, we are not more than 0.5% also. So once this market get matured, yes, the RBI may allow refinancing of the bills financed by one particular financer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, the next question is to Mr. Suresh Nair. There are a lot of observations and complaints from the participants that SBI does not advance loan easily. Can you throw some light on it?
So that is partially correct, partially not correct. What is happening is that in the State Bank, we have got a set, we have to go by the rules and regulations, and the compliance part is very, very much taken care of. If you look at it, for example, now we are also funding NBFCs for the direct assignment, etc. We see the methodology or the appraisal techniques used by some of these players, because we are going on direct assignment. We find that sometimes the methodology or the system by which they appraise the loan is not that scientific to a level at which we are using. This is one basic challenge which we find. That means we want to go by the very scientific method of analysis. When we go on a scientific method of analysis, we find that at times we are not able to fund the way we want. For example, I'll give a good example of the contactless lending platform which has been started by SIDBI. In the initial days, we found that when we get 100 sanction in principle, the real sanction on conversion table, it is only 20 to 25. What is happening is that when we look at it, we find that there are a lot of check returns. And as per bank standard, if there is no check return is not minimal, then we may not fund it. Number two, we found that the limit is sanctioned, but there is no stock because he is a service industry person. Without stock, we cannot give a cash credit limit. Similarly, if you look at the ratio analysis, we find that sometimes we find the ratios are totally, the net worth is negative, but a loan is being sanctioned on the CLP platform, where the bank will not be able to extend. That's why I told, if the person is falling in line with the systems in place, I don't think there is much problem in getting a loan from the bank. But if the systems are not in place and if the books are not proper, yes, there is an issue. But I found that because of this compliance, as we are following a particular methodology, the failures also we find will be less. Otherwise, there will be always a risk of failure in future. That's what we are being a bit careful in the selection, in the sense that the systems and procedures should be followed and the compliance as part will be looked into. Then it will be very easy to get a loan from State Bank.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So another question to you is, does the RBI moratorium on loan repayment applies to the dues owed by buyers to the financiers?
Bias to the whom do you expect,
Financiers.
sir? Bias to are you mean the NBFCs?
Sir, does the RBI moratorium on loan repayment
Yeah.
applies to the dues owed by buyers to financiers?
Bias to I am not. Can you throw light? Bias to financiers means what? Which sector you are looking at? I am not able to make it clearly, sir.
Sir, this is not particularly addressed to one particular sector. In general, the financial, which can be NBFCs also.
No, sir. RBI has told very clearly. NBFCs, MFIs, everyone has been kept out from this bracket. They are not. Maybe they are coming out with some other package for all these intermediaries. Right now, it is only for the direct beneficiaries of cash credit and term loan, and not for any other intermediaries like MFIs, NBFCs, etc. It has not been extended so far.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Another question
Yeah.
to you is that why is the share of your total loan portfolio? I mean, what is the share of your total loan portfolio that is linked to external benchmark?
So now there is no question of all the retail loans. All the retail loans right now being given by State Bank, it can be linked only to external. We cannot link even a single rupee to any other benchmark. That is RBI instruction. All loans, even medium sector. Earlier it was for SME, retail, and personal. Now for last month it has been extended to medium sector also. We cannot give any loan without linking to external benchmark.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir. And with this, we end the all the questions available from the chat box, as well as people had sent emails. We have finished the question and answer session. Now, may I now request Captain Somesh Batra, Vice Chairman of MBRDC World Trade Center, Mumbai, to kindly propose the closing remarks. Sir, you need to unmute yourself. Batra sir, you need to unmute yourself. Hello. Hello. Batra sir, you need to unmute yourself. Hello. Batra sir, your mic is mute. You need to unmute. Batra sir, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah, sir. Now you can speak. Hello. Batra sir, you can speak now. No, sir. Can't hear. Sir, can't hear. Can you speak, sir?